Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of our NFL Weekly Picks. We are now into week number
12.
Wow, holy smokes, has the season flown by at an absolutely rapid pace. And I know you guys are thoroughly enjoying the winning selections we've been able to hand out the last few weeks. Emily was absolutely splendid last week, going a perfect 3-0. Myself, 2-1. That makes it 4 consecutive winning weeks for us combined. And now that you guys are starting to see some of these winning picks, I know you definitely want to be wagering on these games. So you're going to take a look at the link below on the video here, BetHubb.com. If you already have your account, fantastic. If you don't, it's never too late to get on board and start signing up right now. Make sure to take advantage of all of our weekly bonus offers we have going on. You can propose your own bets to your friends. You can come and challenge us if you think we're going to get on one of those losing streaks like we had earlier in the year. And best of all, you can actually trash talk your friends with comments on there as well. So now that you know where to go and actually place your wagers for NFL football coming up this weekend, let's get straight down to business and continue on with our winning ways. Emily, since you were perfect last week, you have the honor of leading off.
I like to think that I'm perfect every week, but I did go 3-0 last week. I'm going to jump right ahead to the Monday night game, which is going to be atrocious, and I don't really know how much I'm going to care to watch it, except for the fact that I think Carolina is going to go into Philly, and they are going to take it. I have to pick them straight up. They're just going to pick them. They have to do it because Philly is in a complete free fall right now. Andy Reid is going to be canned. He's lost complete control of everything. They can't get anything done. Foles can't do it. Nobody can do.
McCoy's out as well.
McCoy is out. They don't even have any foot soldiers on the field to get it done.
At least Carolina tries every game, even though they lose.
And as painful as it is for me to choose Cam Newton, I think you have to pick him because he has something to prove. No matter what he's done this year, every single game, he's trying to prove himself and get back to where he was. So I'm going with the Panthers on this pick.
I couldn't agree more with you, even though they're not my top pick. But I will also be keying in on here on one of the feature games this weekend, which is the Sunday night. An absolute beauty. It's Green Bay going into the Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants, a rematch from last year's playoff game. And wow, when I saw the fact that Green Bay was an underdog in this football game here, it actually had me rolling my eyes. I could not believe it. And I absolutely love the Packers here because when you think about this team and the way they've responded when they've been underdogs the last few years, they always rise to the occasion. Do you guys remember a few weeks ago when Houston was a favorite in the same range about a field goal? We know what Green Bay did then. They absolutely pumped Houston. It was their best game of the season. They've been on fire since then, having won 5 games in a row. You don't make Aaron Rodgers an underdog because when he finds out about it, he is pissed, and he wants to prove everybody that this was a brutal mistake. And then furthermore, when you also look at the fact that they have a huge revenge spot here based on the fact that the Giants went into Lambeau last year, knocked them out after that impressive 15-1 regular season, there's a little bit more motivation here. Now, I understand the Giants are coming off of a bye, and that probably plays into a little bit of the line here, but that doesn't mean that they necessarily were efficient during their time off. We've seen New York play a little bit lethargic the last few weeks. They always seem to go through this mid-season slump, but I'm not so convinced they're going to come out of it right now. The number one weakness they have as a team is that secondary, which Rodgers should be able to expose a little bit. The Green Bay defense has started to play better the last few weeks. They have a lot of new players that were put into the system this year under Dom Capers, and they finally started to come into his zone. I love Green Bay anytime I can catch them as a dog with points here. So sign me up with the Pack who are going to win this game outright, so take the generous points as well. Your number 2 pick.
Jeez, head. Okay. Well, I have Buffalo going into Indianapolis, and I know Buffalo had that Thursday night game against the Finns, and Spiller had his second, I guess, coming out game of the season. They're using him a lot, getting a lot in motion. I really liked what he was able to do, and I really think if the front 7 can get pressure on Luck, they're going to be able to try and force some rookie turnovers out of them. That being said, I'm going to test my luck with Luck, so to speak. I have to go with Indy on this game because they're still in the playoff race. They have the Bengals playing across town, playing against Oakland, who is just 1 game back. They know they have to win this game, and they have their coach, Pagano. They are playing for him. They are going to be pushed. They're going to be risen to a new level of play, and I think they're going to come out. They are 4-1 at home. I think it's really hard to bet against Luck in this instance, and I'm going to go with the Colts by a field goal, more than a field goal.
They've been great coming off of losses this year. Buffalo's been inconsistent. They haven't been able to string together a couple of good games with 2 wins in a row. And, even though they beat Miami last week, we know that a lot of that had to do with the return games. They couldn't even score a touchdown. I tend to agree with the angle you're going there. Now, my second pick here is going to be another primetime game, divisional rival in the NFC South. We've got Atlanta traveling to Tampa Bay here. And I love the Buccaneers here in this spot, catching a couple of points on their home field. Yes, I understand Atlanta has been hot this year. However, when you look at the way they played the last few games, it really has not been all that impressive. They were extremely sloppy against Arizona, and due to the fact that they are absolutely inept at the quarterback position, that's the only reason they won that game straight up. Matty Ice threw 5 interceptions, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that they cannot get their ground game going right now. And when they become a one-dimensional football team, it's not something that is going to work in their favor. And a big factor heading into this week right now is Julio Jones. I said Julio. You guys know what I'm talking about here. Their stud wide receiver, their playmaker. Well, he's got a hamstring injury, and he's doubtful for the game. And even if he can go, I don't think he's going to be able to get the push-off that he does and utilize his speed. And the one weakness Tampa Bay has is a shaky secondary. So you take him away from them, they're not as explosive offensively. Tampa Bay's playing some good smash-mouth football right now. They're on their home field. I'm going to continue to ride the train with them. I don't understand why they're underdogs here. And when you look at Atlanta, they've only beaten one team with the winning record all year, which was Denver. And the fact that their number one weakness as a team is the run defense. We know what the muscle hamster has been able to do against bad run defenses. He's just been absolutely tearing it up. It helps open up the entire playbook as the play action abilities work with Freeman and his big gunning arm to hit Freeman down, or Freeman will hit Vinny Jackson downfield. This team here should not be a dog at home. I love Tampa Bay in this big spot here. It means more to them in the playoff thick for a wild card, whereas Atlanta sort of has their playoff spot all locked up at this point, going on the road here. A little bit of a regression to the mean. We know that Atlanta has not played that good on the road the last few years. They haven't lost a game on the road yet this year. They're due this week. Take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as home underdogs.
It's kind of hard to go against Muscle Hamster, and especially when you have a Freeman and you have Jackson out there. They're pretty much
stud offense. Shiano's got the whole mindset of this team going in the right direction. I love Tampa Bay.
Absolutely. My last pick, I have to go to a game I had just mentioned with my last pick. Oakland traveling to Cincy. If you remember the quarterback of Oakland, Palmer, heading back to home where the fans are going to absolutely slay him.
Get on his case. Lots of booing.
He's not going to be able to hear a thing. Oakland is dismal at best. In the last 3 weeks, they've allowed 38 or more points.
Oof.
Okay?
You have
Cincinnati, and they have a bad, banged-up secondary right now, and you have A.J. Green doing circus freak catches over top of him. You have to think that the Bengals, who I mentioned are in the hunt for a playoff spot, knowing they have to win. You have Oakland coming an early East Coast game for them. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be made even harder by the talent that's coming off this Cincy squad, and you have to go with them by about a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with that selection there. Oakland is unbackable going to the East Coast in an early start time with that horrendous defense, which should be ripped up by the quality Cincinnati offense. Now, my final pick here, I'm going to strongly advise to you guys, do not watch the game, don't even bother, as it's going to be absolutely putrid. It's going to be the under in the St. Louis-Arizona game, as these two offenses are an absolute disaster, yet both of them have pretty good defenses. When this game is going on, I know we're all going to be watching the New Orleans-San Francisco game. I do have a lean to New Orleans, but until we know exactly what's going on with the quarterback, I won't use that as a pick. So while you're watching that game, you can just enjoy that nice little ticker going by on the bottom and seeing that 0-0 score midway through the second quarter and sort of cheering on your nice little underwager, because Arizona is so bad offensively. And last week, the only reason they got 19 points was because 14 or 16 of those points were handed to them due to Atlanta's red zone or turnovers in their own territory. So they're pretty much handed the ball in the red zone. St. Louis, they're not very good offensively. They can't get much established. Both of them are very top 10 defenses in the league. And then the fact that last week both of them actually played over in the total, I like the fact that you're going to get more of a lower scoring game here. The fact that they're division rivals, they both still believe they're in the playoff hunt, a couple games under 500. It's going to be conservative, inter-division game. I don't see how either team gets to 20 points. We saw them play earlier in the year. What was the final score there? 20-3 or something like that. This game has 17-14 at best written all over it. Pound the under of around 37.5 right now. That's where, it's not a pretty game, but we're here to make money and give you guys winners. So that's the way I see it breaking down with that Arizona-St. Louis football game as well. Just to recap here, you have got...
I've got Carolina, Indy, and Cincy.
And I'm going to be rolling out with Green Bay as an underdog, Tampa Bay as an underdog, and an under with the Arizona-St. Louis game. We're going to continue our winning ways. We'll see you guys back here for week number 13 with more NFL winning selections at BetHubb.com.